G'day everyone, it's Mick here for Fin to Fin Aquariums. Just going to do a quick little tour of the room. Yeah, a couple of new additions. Overall just go through a bit of an update on what's happening here, where we're at, and maybe what we're going to do in the future. So yeah, I'll spin this camera around and we'll get into it. So overall, a bit of a view of this room. This is not a big room by any stretch. As you can see, but she's pretty well crammed in here. Always not that wide, but with the tubs and all the aquariums, there's actually 89 aquariums in this room. So I think that just shows you don't need a huge space to be able to fit a lot of tanks. I certainly haven't jammed them in. Most of these large racks only have a couple of 2-footers on them with decent gaps in between them. I could have easily done things different, put around tanks the opposite way, and different shelving obviously would have been needed, but you've got to be able to maintain them all, clean them, water changes. I didn't want to make too much work for myself, so at this stage this is looking pretty good, pretty happy with how it's looking. I've still got a heap of mess to clean up there, and I've still got to set up air lines on most of these tanks. And a new tank's just come in, the one I had inside. I brought this out, put it on the end of this little aisle. I'm going to make it a bit of a display tank and deck it out with a heap of colourful fish. See how we go. But, up the end here, I think I'm going to make some changes. Chiliandlas in here, and as you can see, a couple of black bars which have been thrown out. So I've discussed these before. So yeah. So I've got to do some work with a few of these tanks now. So there is a blue eye lemon bristlenose in here. They did breed not that long ago. I left the fry in there and now I can't find any, so not sure why. I've bred plenty of bristlenose before and never lost all the fry like that, but it did happen for some reason. But this tank's just a hype of activity all the time. But these Chiliandlas, 90% of them come out as Chiliandlas, but every now and then they throw out a black bar, so it's sort of disappointing. So they're not the purest of lines by the looks of it. So, but I'll still keep them obviously, but I'll just have to rethink what I was going to do with them. So when I do sell these types of things, I like to, you know, people want Chiliandlas. I don't want them to take them home and breed them and throw out black bar endless. That's not the plan. So yeah, they'll be sold as chilies, but I'll have to let the people know that I can throw out the old black bar endless. So it's a bit of a bummer. Plants are going well too. This plant, when I first put it in here, was only just touching this end, pretty much to about there, and now she's heading up towards the roof, so can't complain with the plants. This one is travelling all the way along as well, as you can see, and then the root system's coming out and going really well. So plants are doing good, some of them anyway. A couple of them probably look like they're struggling a bit, but my blue Mickey Mouse platties, there's plenty in there. I'm just trying to get this so the glare's not terrible, so I'm doing a bit of an angle. Seems to maybe be better, I don't know. But this tank's always moving around, always something moving. Cheap, simple, breed like flies. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for a tank where you've got fish moving at every level, you don't just have to have the one colour like this either. Obviously you can do many colours in the platties. So. And I've got my long fin, like a chocolate red bristlenose. I bought these from a pet shop. There's a pair in there. I do not know exactly what they are. The pet shop reckons they were a super red cross with maybe a marble bristlenose, you might have said. Can't really remember, but either way I thought they looked quite nice. So I grabbed them. I'm just going to go, I'll just go turn some lights off for a second. That might be a bit better. The lights are off on the other side now. That might have eliminated a lot of the glare. So probably should have done that at the start. I'm a slow learner. A bit of driftwood in. Try to have that in every tank, especially if I've got bristlenose. I'm trying to get lots of plants planted in terracotta pots. I like always have like some floating weed in there as well, but you know, the driftwood, Anubis in the back pot there. Trying to have a couple in every tank. It's I'm just going to buy them, pot them, see how they go. I just leave them in the little pot they come in, drop them in that tank, in the pot, sorry. The stuff that's in the base is, I can't remember the name of it, it's 4 plants, so 3/4 of that, and then I just have the gravel just at the top to hold the other stuff in and stop it from floating out, obviously, and moving. So that seems to work. Most of the plants are surviving and looking pretty healthy, and that one's flowering, so it must be going okay. I can't remember all the names of the plants and the weed and stuff like that. Yeah, these things here that the bristlenose breed in are just terracotta waterers. You get them off eBay. I don't know, they might be 20 bucks for like a box of 4. So again, good price. Seem to work. I've had a few different varieties breeding them now with no dramas. Moving down to German white guppies. These guys are thriving. A few getting on a bit now, but plenty of fry in there. So the next generation of it, these adults are the ones I purchased, obviously. So all these young ones are my, you call them F1s, growing up. So we have to start a nice fresh colony with fish that are used to my water conditions here in Pirrie. So I think that's pretty important. Always buy a group of fish, and then I'm pretty keen to breed them so I can get that next generation that will be hardier and used to the water here. Obviously everywhere you go it's different, so, and a lot of the fish I order in come from Queensland, so yeah, it's not unusual to lose a couple early on, but yeah, that's the plan. Always try to get them bred. Again, I can't even think of the name of the plant. Slipped my mind. This one is a real basic one. Doesn't matter. Who knows? It'll come back to me at some stage. I can't remember what that one is, but it gets like lilies on top of the pond. So as you can see, these grow up and spread right out. So yeah, pretty nice. Top of that, as you can see, plenty of areas for the fry to hide. I did have some tubs in there. In the end, I didn't need them for these guys because they were breeding and most of the babies were surviving, or more than enough anyway. As you can see, nice, really white tail with the blue through them. So they're actually one of the nicer ones, I reckon. They're actually, yeah, really good. And normal, common bristlenose in there somewhere. They recently bred as well. Did see a few babies the other day. Every now and then I see one, but so they are going okay. Moving along to the next tank. Super red bristlenose in this one. Somewhere in there if they want to come out. I have not bred these. I've never bred these ones. I bought 10 babies and they're just growing up now. I'm starting to get them up to a size where breeding is a possibility. This tank's got the golden koi guppies in it. So, quite a nice guppy. They've bred quite a few. I've actually lost all the original adults. They come in from Queensland, and when I say all of them, it wasn't a lot. Might have only been 6 fish or something like that. 6 or 7 fish. And a couple of those are males and 3 or 4 females normally, but they've bred a plenty. So we've got a lot of fry in there. I'll keep back a small group for myself, and that'll form this breeding group moving forward. Again, these guys are used to my water, so when I do water changes and everything, you don't lose any fish now, everything's pretty good. Another nice Anubis, looking nice and green, and gonna flower as well, I reckon. So a couple of those there, so they must be going reasonably well. Another pot that needs to be planted. Duckweed's kind of, I've got a bit of duckweed because I've been transferring a lot of weed to and from ponds outside. I've always got the duckweed, so I just kind of try to keep it, take it out when I'm sick of it. It's not that hard. Another plant that's going well. All my plants are just pretty simple, but yeah, they seem to be growing okay. I haven't done any new ones for a while, but so I might need to go and buy a few and try and get some new plants in a few of the other tanks that don't have them. Been focusing on a few other things of late, but I've got plenty of tanks that can do with the plants. So we'll move down to the bottom. Again, as you can see, bloody duckweed. Some milfoil, I think this plant's called. It's not the most spectacular plant. It travels pretty well though, and it's more up. I think it's better in a pond, but it travels all the way along the top. This is all still the same plant, and the fry seem to be able to hide in it really well. These were just some yellow guppies I bought, and yeah, it's fair to say that there's one random bluey red guppy that's been thrown out. So I do need to take him out, and I still haven't, so he's probably, in a young male, he's probably bred with some of the yellows, but these are cheap guppies for the pet shop, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, there's plenty in there. There's a lot of new fry at the back, as you can see, and peppermint bristlenose in this tank. There's only 4, never bred them. One of them's quite big, the other 3 are a little bit slower. But yeah, one day I need to probably buy some more of them and stock that colony up. So I will look for another little purchase of peppermint bristlenose at some stage. But yeah, another tank that looks quite nice, not too bad. There's the common bristlenose are all starting to come out. Yeah, once I walk away, of course. This bottom tank, just a few platies that are left over. Sold a heap out of here. There's only a handful left, and some young albino bristlenose that'll take down to the pet shop at some stage. The weather's starting to get a bit nicer, although it's back up to high 30s this weekend. Every time I get some days off, it heats up, so it's pretty standard stuff. But yeah, like I was saying with the platies, there's plenty of colours available. If you're looking for just a tank of cheap fish, won't cost anything, will breed, always moving, don't think you can go wrong. That probably needs a plant or and a bit of weed put in that tank just to help it out a bit. So that's those 6 tanks, and one new addition was around the corner here, sitting in these tubs. 4 marble bristlenose growing up in there. This little tub was, the walls were all green when I dropped them in there only 2 or 3 days ago. So they've cleaned that for me. So they've had free food for a few days, so I'll start dropping some wafers in, and I do put the brine shrimp in as well, and they come down and eat all that as well. So 4 little marbles to add to the collection to grow up, and something a little bit different. So that is those 6 tanks. And we'll move along to this one, and our albino firecracker swordtails, which I have bred. Separated a few so I could get the fry. Pretty bright fish. Yeah, probably one of my favourites just for the colour. They stand out. And I think people that have just like one display tank, if they had a proper lighting, you know, I think the colours would be even better. The nice long fins, yeah, actually really nice. More albino bristlenose growing up. I seem to have bred quite a few of them. So they're all kind of all over the place. Again, another plant going all the way along, just trying to get it to keep running. This one is a lot. The leaves are meant to be a lighter colour, so it's not. A couple of leaves are probably a little bit burnt, but that's the colour they're meant to be. What else have we got here? These are my new addition. Now, these are the red and blue Colombian tetras. Now these things are pretty cool. The first tetra that I've got here into the collection. They just reminded me of little piranhas when I seen them. I seen them around at my brother's house. He's got he does the aquascaping, so he's got a big planted tank. Looks pretty awesome, and he's got a group of big adults of these in there, and they cruise around. As soon as I seen them, I thought, ooh, I reckon I might need to get some of them. So I'll send the challenge out of trying to breed them. I've got to do a bit of research on them. I've got a mop in there because the albino Corydoras have bred. I've got eggs from them, but I've left the mops in there just in case these guys being egg layers. I'll look up whether they're they like the mops on the ground, floating. I truly don't know. I'll have to do a bit of research, but yeah, I can see myself getting quite a few other tetras now. When I picked these up, the shop I got them from had probably nearly 10 different types. I quite easily could have bought half a dozen of every type. I'm sure people understand that feeling when you see something and I kind of think, shit, I need that. But you've got to have the tanks for it, obviously. Yeah, so I want to start trying to breed different things. These were not expensive by any means. There's nothing expensive about them at all. It's more just the challenge and the look. There's again another milfoil. I can't remember what that thing's called, but it's kind of pointless. So they might they grow out the actual top and end up shriveling up near the light, but they don't really provide any protection or anything like that. So this thing here I got from the pet shop, this big plant. I've had it in here for ages, and they said it'll die off pretty quick, but this thing's only got bigger and better since I planted it. It's huge now. It's spreading like wildfire, so it's perfect really. I thought it might protect some fry, but these guys still find a way to eat them straight away. But yeah, so that plant's looking really good. Another one of the plants the same as at the top, but obviously this one's a bit bigger and looking a lot better. A few of these little guys I've got to plant. This one's got some mystery snails, some peppered Corydoras cruising around in there, and my angelfish, which lay a lot of eggs, which are 2 females. I thought I had a pair, and I'm thinking, right, 4 lots of eggs, nothing fertile. And then yesterday, or a couple of days ago now, I catched them. They were both laying eggs on the same pot, so they are 2 females, unfortunately. And I've added a new one to the group, this one. I have no idea what sex that is, so if there's anyone out there watching this that's got a bit of knowledge on angelfish, by all means let me know what you think that is. I've seen it at the shop and it was quite pretty, so it's into the collection anyway, no matter what sex it is. Doesn't really matter. Moving on to the next tank, and my breeding pair of albino bristlenose, the ones responsible for all the babies. I haven't bred for a fair while actually, but there's a few young ones I've left in there that are growing up. And of course, the red-tailed tuxedo platies. As you can see, they're pretty nice. Good colour. Cruising around like all platies do. Plenty of them are fat and probably drop babies, but I haven't seen any, so I generally don't eat them too much, so it'll be interesting to see what's in there. Again, another plant. That one seems to be growing quite well. Some more of this is it called hornwort or fox? Oh, not 100% sure what it's called. But another one of these plants. Growing well, plenty of new shoots coming off the main stems, so it must be going okay, I'm assuming. Yeah, so that's all that's in that tank. Not too much, a bit more of a holding tank down here. More young, grow out firecrackers, a couple of females, mainly males of course, as always. Bronze Corydoras breeding group down here. So they've bred a couple of times. I've collected one lot of eggs. I haven't collected any of the others. But one day I might get some more. There's a couple of young angelfish in here growing up. There is a couple of German blue rams in here too that could be hiding down in this mop. They seem to hide in there. Not sure where they are, but they don't want to come out. And of course this plant, which has actually grown out the pond and heading up to the light. So, oh, and there's another plant that runs along there. So plants are going okay. This plant's come out and just shrivel up a bit up here. So, not sure, can't remember what it's called. I'd have to have a look when I bought it. Kept the receipts, so I do have the names. It's just a matter of getting them out. Across to the last one on this little bank, which is my red lace endlers. Probably my favourite little endler. They started with one pair and they've bred like endlers do. So I've got some extra males now and a few females, so it should be off and running. Driftwood, there is L397 plecos in here. You might see a tail just there. I haven't checked if there's any eggs or anything, but I don't think there is. There's another little tail in between, or a fin I should say, in between the driftwood. There's only 4 in there. I'd never kept the L numbers before, so I just started with 4 of them. Bloody duckweed again. This plant's growing, but she's only hanging on by a thread. There's not much coming out of that pot. I think this stuff will actually grow. It doesn't have to be planted. I think it will grow outside of a pot as well. So if it breaks off, I'll plant something else. And this one looks the same as the other tank. It grows out of the pot, but it's lost all its leaves in the water. So no idea why. Another mystery in the fish room. We get them every now and then. So that's the first 12 tanks. So they're breeding tanks. I have set up these small tanks up the top here. I've just got to run the air line in now. These are not big, as you can see. What's going to go up here? I am going to get some betta fish. I'm going to grab 3 or 4 different males and 3 or 4 different females, and I'm going to have a crack at breeding some betta fish. Some different combos, different colours, and just see how they go. I've never bred them before, so just that challenge of doing that. And then I've got 2 bigger tanks on the end here, 50 centimetres long running there, which will probably house some grow out fish. So I'm always running out of room on the daily. So my bank of, it's meant to be grow outs and bits and pieces. Eventually everything in these tanks will be for sale, but at the moment I haven't quite got it set up right. These top tanks get a bit of neglect. There's one lonely old swordtail that I've had for a while, and there's some baby Julii Corydoras there. I threw a mop in here for a couple of days and took it out, and the other day I seen a Corydoras swimming around, so I didn't even know they were in there. I think there's only about 5 or 6 in there. But I think that swordtail's getting on a bit, so not really eating. It's just a male on his own. Endler males, a couple of poor girls might have got thrown in there as well, so they'd be under the pump. But chilies and black bars in there, so they just need to go to the pet shop as well. again, been just so slack. A couple of fry that I've been saying for probably a month now I've got to catch out and move. Again, they're endless. I think they're the Jetstar Blue, whatever they are, they're fish. I'm not sure if there's anything in that one. I might have emptied that. I'm trying to get these top ones empty so I don't have to worry about them. This one's got a couple of fry in it as well. These were the golden tiger endless used to be in here, so there might be one or two still to catch. And a few mollies that I've said I'm getting rid of, and they're still there. Now, albino firecracker swordtails. These are the ones I bred out in the pond. Tried to catch them out as quick as I could before they got eaten. I think I might, it'd have to be 20 odd or so in there. 3 females. They're probably, other girls have probably had their fry as well, but they just get eaten so quick. They're super bright from the moment they're born, so they're kind of sitting ducks. They stand out just way too much. Young Corydoras, predominantly bronze Corydoras in here. There is a couple of Julii in there, but I think 80% are the bronze. More swordtails. Seems to be plenty of these guys. These are meant to be going out in a pond, but I've been so slack. The longer I leave it, we'll be getting too close to winter and I won't be able to. So I'll probably move over into some of the tubs that I've got set up if I don't get a move on. Excess male guppies, just thinning out a tank. I quite often remove a male and throw them in there. Bits and pieces. A little guppy experiment with the 24 karat gold cross snake skin, red tail snake skin guppy. So, and I have more Corydoras in there. Again, bronzes mainly. This has just got platies in it from the experiment tub outside. I just brought a few babies out just so when it comes time to catch them, a bit of a head start. At least 80 in there, I think. It doesn't look it, but I can guarantee you there's a lot in there. They sit down in all the shit on the bottom there and hide a fair bit. Stick down here a bit. Tiger platies in here. 2 males and a female, and she's ready to drop. So it's the only ones I've got of them. Ordered 4 online, got 3 males and a female. So I was lucky enough to get 1 girl, so hopefully she drops her babies and doesn't drop dead on me. But I have seen some really nice tiger platies, so if I can breed enough, I'm sure I'll be able to selectively pick out the best ones and have a nice tank of them. Again, cheap little live bearer. Swordtails, so plenty of koi swordtails, pineapple swordtails, and this variety of swordtail. Pretty standard looking ones, but nice. Again, get them grown up to go to a pet shop, or someone wants some swordtails. What do we got in here? I think these are more baby swordtails. So small ones. Looks like a variety of pineapples and a few of the other type. They're only pretty small, so a lot of them are just sitting on the ground in amongst the crap. So not too much happening there. There's always bristlenose cruising around in these tanks. More platies. These are blue tuxedos that my blue Mickey Mouse platies threw out, so I separated them straight away because I thought they looked pretty cool. Really good colours, nice and bright. So I thought, why not separate them and see if I can start another line, because why not? What else do you do? And yep, you guessed it, swordtails. Pineapple swordtails. This tank home, a few bristlenose. But yeah, shitloads of swordtails this year. So, now, moving down here. Now I've got a pair of Crebensis in here. is just inside that cave, and she is overdoing something under that filter, so not sure what. Haven't bred yet, no fry, but I haven't had them long at all, so we'll just leave them in there and see what happens. I was going to be for shrimp this tank, but I had nowhere for them, and that was an impulse buy. I'm sure people understand what I mean there. This has got some green shrimp in there, if I can see one. There's crystal blacks in there that I just got only a couple of days ago. They always go up on the bottom of this red root floater. Absolutely love it. And there's some orange in there as well. That'll be difficult to see, unfortunately, but I do need to separate them there. Let's stay still. Yeah, there you go. So they're going alright. Moving on to this tank, which has got the blue dreams in it. So I think I purchased 10, so it's not like I bought a heap. Again, up in that red root floater where they absolutely love it. I did see a couple of babies in there, I thought, so they have got babies in there. There was only a couple that I seen, so some bloody snails. Reds, and unfortunately that looks like one that's for whatever reason has not made it. So that's always annoying when you got one that's actually got good colour. Well, they might still be alive, but probably not going to be for long by the looks of it. No doubt they'll be up here in this stuff. They do seem to like it. Couple up there. Blend in. The colours are not great on some of these reds. There's a few good ones, but there's a few average ones as well. Probably my better ones are my yellows. Quite deep colours, and they've bred a lot too. There's plenty of babies in there, they're all over the place. Again, they would be on this top of this red root floater if I give this a little tickle. You usually see babies go everywhere. Shrimp going everywhere. So there you go. Plenty of shrimp in there. So the yellows are doing well. That's what the top looks like with the red root floater. So, more plants obviously in some of these tanks. I don't know what they're called. So Java fern obviously, there's broadleaf and another one of those stupid things that are pointless. Bit of weed floating in every tank. More Java fern on that one. So that's pretty much that half of the room. My peace lilies that were cruising up the top have kind of gone downhill. And I never had a light up there, but I put that light up. It's probably not enough. So I need to do something to sort them out. And obviously this plant's gone gangbusters as well. So I think it's just pothos. I think just the basics. Most of the plants I keep, and that one's spread and travelled into this tank and hopefully makes its way all the way along. But yeah, that's the those 12 tanks, and for this little area I'll just flick some lights off on this side and turn them back on the other side, and then I'll do the other side. Okie dokie, so we're on the other side now. What do we got here? Red tail gold snake skin guppies. Most of this side's just guppies. A lot of my stuff's pretty simple. Tried to keep fish that are easy to keep, and I know guppies will drop dead on you pretty easy, but they generally breed more than what you're ever going to lose, so you always seem to have your little colony. Up here we've got some mystery snail eggs from the blue mystery snail eggs in there. Little basket obviously for the fry to hide in, especially in these tanks that don't have a lot of weed in them yet. Got a couple of pots in here, more. I got a pot, but I haven't got the big piles of weed in these ones yet that I want to get in. Some big chestnut mystery snails cruising around in here. These guys are absolute monsters. Very big. Only had them about a week. I've already got eggs out of them. So they're going alright. Basket for some of the babies. Another Anubis there. Another one growing alright. Bit of driftwood. These tanks have got to have backings put on them, and then I'll need to decide whether I put gravel on the bottom or sand, or whether I have substrate or not. I've left it because I just don't know what to do. Although I think the other side of the room looks a lot better with the substrate, so I am leaning towards putting just a thin layer in. Blue jet antlers in here. These guys have got, you can see a nice big pile of weed there for the babies to hide in. Another one of these plants that comes up. Yeah, got the half beaks in here. So I call them like a little garfish. That's what they remind me of. They're pretty cool. I only got 3, but they're on the list to get some more, that's for sure. Like a little group to try and breed them. They're light bearers, so they shouldn't be too hard. But these antlers have tripled in a couple of months for sure, so they're off and running. And the same goes for the black bar antlers. They're well and truly off and running. There's heaps of them. And ivory mystery snails in there. So we've got 4 varieties of the mystery snails. I'm quite enjoying them at the moment. These ones have only came this week. So, but yeah, plenty of black bar antlers. And I put some weed from out in the ponds just so the babies can hide. So they're all going okay. And we'll move down the bottom. This tank, I've thrown some frog bit in here from out in the pond, and as you can see the root system comes down. Pretty handy for the guppies. And see how it goes inside. Obviously being outside it might struggle in here, but these are the blue moss scales. Nice pretty little fish. A few little babies in there, but pretty plain. So this side needs a bit of work to it at the moment, but and I will get around to it at some stage. Just let me shimmy around to this side. Japan blue antlers. I lost the adults, so there's about a dozen babies in there somewhere. So they'll come out because I'm going to use this tank for something else. Probably I'm going to look at a pair of Pistograme and have a crack at trying to breed something like that. There's also more young Julii corridors getting around in this tank as well, which I didn't see before, but they're cruising around the back. That's those 6 tanks. Right, what have we got next? More mystery snail eggs from the blues. I think that big for those 2, and that big one might be the chestnut mystery snails, but won't be taking too many more eggs from them. You know, get plenty of them, but got to take a couple here and there. So there's the blues cruising around the bottom. Neon blue guppies in this tank. Going alright. I've banged a heap of weed in there to try and help the survival rate of the babies. They do predate on them just a tiny bit. Not ridiculous, but they certainly do knock a few off. There should be 3 times that amount in there. But there isn't. Yes, more mystery snail eggs. What do we got here? Blue metal lace guppies. These ones have turned out to be one of my favourites actually. They always, colours are really always nice and bright. Again, nothing expensive here. These were $5 each. So I'm not going to breed 100 of these and retire, that's for sure. But they're very pretty. I reckon they'd be really good sellers in a pet shop. Driftwood obviously. This tank will get some, probably the marble. Crystal knows when they're big enough. Come over here, there's a few random golden mystery snails cruising around in here, but it's pretty much just those guppies in here at the moment, and some plants obviously. Over to this tank. This is the adult golden mystery snails, which have obviously bred quite a bit. The eggs just stay up there. Just leave them up there and drop in and survive. Those do. If they don't, they don't. Some Mickey Mouse platies, like a candy cane variety or something. But they don't breed true either. There's a baby, which is going to be a sunset platy. These guys, before I put these, separated these, were in with other mixed platies too, so that first lot's probably not a great indication of breeding true. There is more babies in there, but they're hiding under the pots. They get right in under there, and you just see a tiny little baby come out every now and then. They get down in that weed. Sorry about that glare, pain glass. But yeah, that tank's looking alright. Not bad. Down the bottom, the last couple. So I've got orange guppies. Again, nothing special. Got a bit of guppy grass in this one. Another plant, it's struggling. More bloody mystery snails. So not much in there. And my golden tiger antlers that have bred a chili antler and a black bar antler. So yeah, this group will just get dismantled. They won't make the cut. So that's just, yeah, unfortunately they're just not happening. So, not obviously producing plenty of the golden tigers, but just throwing out all sorts of stuff. So they'll get sold off to the pet shop, and I'll have another crack at trying to get a bit better line from somewhere else. Again, a couple of plants, a bit of duckweed as usual, a little tub to try and help the babies hide, but yeah, disappointed in them. More mystery snails, of course. And that is pretty much those 12 tanks. So as you can, sorry, take that back, I've missed my top tank. Just the red guppies in here, and my breeding Julii Corydoras colony, and lots of baby guppies. So they're everywhere. A lot of weed in this one, plenty of guppy grass at the top for them to hide in. The mop at the back for the cories, which I haven't even been taking the eggs out. So I've got quite a few there. So, but yeah, that's those 12 tanks. So they're going well. I will just do some more lights. So, and obviously this middle rack that I've only just recently set up in the last couple of weeks, still got to have air line run to them. And I put this tank in here today, so, not today actually, a few days ago. But these tanks will hold young fish for growing up, to move on. Obviously fish from outside that have got to come in for winter. That's what these 8 bigger tubs, these hold pretty much the same amount of water as a 2-footer. So the platies and the swordtails and the guppies that are all outside will all come in here and get spread out through these tanks this weekend. Saturday tomorrow, so I might get my ass into gear and run some airline of these and start getting them cycling. Set them up, and then haven't done any more with them, so they're a bit slack. The heater system in this room is that split system up there, and obviously a fan running. I'm going to get another fan in here just to help circulate the air, but there's no heaters in any of these tanks. So it'll be interesting to see. Winter coming will be the first winter in this room, so I'll see how this room handles it. I think we'll be alright. I'm going to block that door off for winter because there's not going to be anything in that room, so I'll block that. So air conditioner won't have to work as hard. This is going to be all fish tanks as well, but that's a story for another day. At the moment it's just a rubbish tip in there. There's a heap of reptiles I've got to get cleaned out. But yeah, that's the indoor room, guys. A little update. I'll just go out and do a real quick update on the outdoor ponds, and obviously these tanks up here are going to be done as well. so another 12. They're Kmart tanks all the way along the top. That's all I was using when I first moved to this house 6 months ago. So been here just over 7 months now, and yeah, done all this. So even though I think I've been pretty slack, yeah, started with just the Kmart tanks, and now it's, yeah, a total of 89 in this room. So I will go out and have a quick look outside. It's still daylight. I've been blabbering on for a while. I've got these tubs set up. They've been a good couple of weeks now, so they're ready for fish. These were just here to create some shade. We were 40 odd degrees the other week. These tubs do get warm, so you need weed, good layer of weed, and the shade, yeah, makes quite a difference. The only fish out here in these at the moment are platies that I've thrown out here. But, they're in there swimming around, you can see some. And of course my friendly dog that has to pester me every time I come out here. And there is some young goldfish growing up in here, baby goldfish, that you may see cruising around if you're lucky. They swim over that. A lot of them haven't coloured up, so not easy to see. There's probably about 60 or 70 in there. Just basic comets, nothing to get too excited about. These tubs all need a good top up. Baby turtles are in that one, they're nearly all sold out. Only 3 left and they'll be gone this weekend. A pair of swordtails in there. Pineapple swordtail adults in there, and still some fry that I didn't catch. There's still quite a bit of fry in there, but I just couldn't be bothered catching them, so I left them. The guppies are in here, and there's lots of them. These guys, and there's some more little babies by the looks of it swimming in there. Well, there's that many in here. I didn't think that they'd breed anymore without getting eaten. If I get the net, give it a quick scoop. As you can see, there's a lot of guppies in there. And then even trying to get them out, I'll have to scoop that over. So, guppies galore there. They're going well. Can't say they haven't done well this summer. And producing some pretty awesome colours in there too. They look wicked, some of them. But, guppies in there. This is the platy experiment. So the 38 babies coming here, and there's a casualty, fortunately. So I don't know if he's got himself stuck up on this weed. It's quite thick. I'll take a bit of it out actually, but there's more babies in there, as you can see. I'll have to thin this out a bit. This weed grows pretty thick. This is what I do underneath the weed. So this is just fake vine stuff, and I cut it in squares and then cable tie it so it sits like that under the water, so baby fish can get in amongst it all, and gives them somewhere to get away from the adults. Not such a big deal with platies because they're generally pretty good. Don't predate anywhere near as much as swordtails. Just getting some of this weed out because it's actually just too thick. Create a few little spots there for them to get out. Some sunlight in there. I'll just move that to another pond after. This one here's got black swordtails in it, so chances of seeing them are bloody nearly zero. They're extremely dark, like they're dark as it is. Of course the glare's not going to help. Oh, and there's a little baby koi still in there from the previous breeding experiment, but they can stay in there, that's not going to hurt them. Won't waste my time there because you won't see them. The albino firecrackers are in here. This is where they bred. There's only the 3 girls in here still. I haven't bothered putting a male in there. It's getting towards the end of summer. And I'm not even going to try and breed stuff in winter. They'll come inside and I'll probably separate all the females and males so they can get nice and big and healthy, ready for next summer. That's the plan anyway. I need to get some water in here, obviously. This is the rice fish tub, and there's plenty of water in there, but it needs to be topped up significantly because that root system covers so much. I've got to top that one up all the time. Goldfish in this bad boy. Some fantails in here. Sure they'll come up. So the normal fantails and some red caparandus. Just cruising around. Nice little fish. And this lucky last tub has Shabbunkins in it, but they don't come up too often when I feed them, but I might move them out of this tub because this is just one tub that's never clear for whatever reason, so I might this weekend catch them and move them over into another tub, I think. But that is everything. I do have some big changes happening because the fish are kind of taken over actually, so I'm having a bit of a, obviously I do the bearded dragons as well, but I'm having a bit of a sale on the beardies. I'm going to be moving on a lot of beardies and moving these cages, and for next summer this whole area down here is either going to be the real large black tubs that hold a few hundred litres, or I was even thinking of 3 IBCs here, a couple on the other side, so maybe 5 IBCs, just cut down, not half but just above half, and experimenting with some of the fancy goldfish. But we'll see how we go. There is fish in these as well, just some little goldfish still. There's a super large axolotl in that last one, but yeah, that is it, ladies and gents. I said this was going to be a quick video, and I'm sitting here and it's been over 50 minutes. So my partner says I'll talk a lot of shit, so she'll be justified by the end of this. But anyone who watches, thanks, really appreciate it. Please comment any ideas. Love getting ideas from other keepers. So I'm still just kind of learning. This has kind of progressed a lot quicker than expected. So yeah, always welcome any feedback. Please like my videos. If you can subscribe, that would be awesome. I've set my target to try to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you can like, if you can share, I think you can share on YouTube, I'm no expert on it. But if anyone shares my video, that would be sweet. I'm getting a program on the computer so I can start editing videos, and I'm going to start getting my partner to film them, edit them. I'm going to get the microphone. I'm going to try and make some that I guess are a little bit more professional and not just me walking around talking and babbling on. Try and do some good videos, try to get some different fish and do the breeding of them over a period of time, and then edit that video and make some more interesting content, I guess, instead of just the same thing. So yeah, please subscribe, like, share, comments, always awesome. I always get back to everyone that comments, no matter what. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.